He joins us now. Richard, welcome to the program. How many cornerbacks were taken ahead of you in the draft in 2011?
23.
23 is correct, sir. How important was that? We always look for an edge, chip on the shoulder motivation. How much motivation is that for you even today that those cornerbacks were taken before you?
Well, it's a ton of motivation. You work hard all your life to get drafted, and you want to get drafted as high as possible, and you want to show everybody, that you belong and that you're the best, and then you get picked there, and all these guys go ahead of you, so you feel an obligation to prove everybody who passed on you wrong.
But what was the knock against you?
I can tell you. I guess some people didn't like tall corners, but now everybody likes tall corners. So, see how that goes.
But personality didn't work against you?
I doubt it. I mean, I didn't have too much of a personality in college. You pretty much are who you are. You're in the system. You're doing what you're doing. So I highly doubt it. There are worse personalities than me out there.
Well, it's not that you have a bad personality. Sometimes you get guys who look at a player and don't know who he's going to be in a couple of years or when he gets money. Like Johnny Manziel is being carved up here. They don't know who he is and what he is, or Jadeveon Clowney. That scrutiny, I think sometimes it's hard. If you're a college junior or senior and you're hearing that, how tough is it to hear them dissect you as a person as you're getting ready to go into the NFL, that it almost feels personal at times?
Well, I'm sure it's difficult, but if you're a strong-minded player and you've been through the rigors of our sport and big games, you've dealt with the criticism your whole life, so you understand that it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. All of it's irrelevant what they say about you, how they dissect you, because a team's going to pick you. Especially in Johnny Manziel's situation, you're going to be a high draft pick, regardless of what people say. You're gonna do well, so you just have to ignore the noise.
You become famous now. You go from a player that people sort of know about, and now you become a household name. Is that something that you wanted to be, a household name?
It isn't something I consciously thought about, but it is what it is now. My goal was to win, and has always been to win, and to help my team win, and to hopefully, do enough to be called into the Hall of Fame, like the great players before. So, I mean, all that comes with those goals and reaching those goals and accomplishing the things that I set out to accomplish.
He's Richard Sherman, the Seahawks cornerback, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. But sometimes, like, I thought Dennis Rodman's personality got in the way of just how great he was, that people then focused on his personality, or Ron Artest, Meta World Peace. Are you concerned that sometimes we'll focus on maybe how you do something instead of what you're actually doing on the football field?
No, I don't worry about that. I've never worried about people's opinions or what they think or, what they're concerned with. I go out there and do my job effectively every game, and that's really all that matters to me.
When the President, Obama, was up there, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and the President starts doing his Richard Sherman impersonation, what'd you think?
I thought it was hilarious, man. I thought it was hilarious. He did a pretty good job.
He did a good job. Did you get a chance to have you met the President?
I didn't get a chance to sit down with him, but I got a chance to speak with him briefly before he started before he started speaking and before the whole event started. But I didn't get to sit down and shake hands with him or anything.
What's the biggest misconception of that post-game speech that you had with Fox and Aaron Andrews?
That I was yelling at Aaron Andrews or something like that.
Did you?
A lot of people thought she was scared and all this other nonsense. And me and Aaron are pretty cool.
Yeah, because I thought you did it previously, and then you sort of kind of regathered yourself, and then you just that was the reaction. It was like, oh no, this is scary. This poor little girl is there, and he's yelling at her. Did you know in the moment that people are going to view it that way, or they could have viewed it that way?
Well, I mean, this just in our society, you gotta always assume people are gonna react in the most negative way, and people are gonna have a, how can I say, they're gonna have a, I don't know how to describe it, but people are always gonna be taken aback by things they don't understand, by things that haven't happened before, things outside of the norm. People are expecting me to give the cookie cutter, interview. Oh, it's a great game, two great teams, competitive, et cetera, et cetera. And when you go outside of that, you take people aback. And, so I expected people to be taken aback. I expected people to be surprised. I expected people to, have their criticisms to go back and forth. But at the end of the day, it all was irrelevant.
I loved it. Because I don't want to wait and get that cookie cutter answer at the press conference that, look, you may not like Michael Crabtree for whatever reason. You just got through playing. You had the big play at the end of the game. Game's over. Stick a microphone in your face. I would assume you're still in game face mode. You're all hyped up there.
Yeah, you're definitely still in game mode. And anybody who puts any kind of passion or dedication into the game, like me and my teammates do, you're still going to be hyped up. You're going to be amped up. You're going to be still raring to go. And I've never been one to hold my tongue in the first place. So,
do you really hate Crabtree?
I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Do you really hate Crabtree?
I don't hate anyone. I never said I hated him.
Okay. Do you dislike him?
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't care for him very much.
Okay, you don't hate him. Yeah, it doesn't sound as forceful. I don't care for him very much. Instead of I hate you. Okay, but you dislike him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a ball player. I'm a competitor. They're rivals. That's football.
But it helps you though, doesn't it? If you don't like somebody, let's say there was is there a receiver you really like that may take the edge away from you a little bit?
No.
There's not a wide receiver you like?
There are receivers I'm friends with and I have a ton of respect for, but none of it's going to take my edge away. When I step on a football field, you're a competitor. It doesn't matter who's out there.
Have you watched the Super Bowl highlights film?
I've watched them. I watched them briefly after the game, and I've watched them a few times since. No
need to?
It's not much to see. I mean, a lot. I was there. I was in the game. And, our team played very well. Our offense played very effectively. Our D-line, our secondary, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, both had great games. Earl Thomas played well. Cliff Averill, Chris Clemens. Everybody played a good game on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, you've seen what Percy did. Doug Baldwin. Jermaine Kearse had that amazing play. And Russell, was Russell, as always. So, those are on our team. It is what it is. You expect people to play well. And I've been working with Alberto Beef Jerky, and their big slogan is you get out what you put in. And our team puts in a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a lot of man hours. And when you do that, you see it day in and day out. On game day, it's pretty much a culmination of that.
It's Oberto.com to learn more about the all-natural jerky. We're big jerky fans, by the way.
You're a big beef jerky fan?
Yes, I am. It's a nice breakfast snack for us here.
Oh man, it is. It's a great snack.
Did you made a commercial with them, didn't you?
I did. I've made a few commercials with them. I did one ad with Stephen A. Smith. He was a little voice in your stomach, and talking about how good Alberto beef jerky is, how all natural it is, and how it's a great source of protein. And I also did one talking about the draft day experience, my draft day experience. Falling all the way to the fifth round, and talking about how regardless of where you're picked, and whether you're the first pick or the last pick, you got to go out there and work hard and prove yourself, because it's a bottom line league, and if you're not changing the bottom line, then you're going to be out of the league.
You do a Stephen Smith impersonation?
I do not. Stephen A. he's a man in his own in his own category, man. I wish I could, though.
Well, everybody's imitating you. But good luck with trying to repeat there, and congratulations on the Alberto all-natural beef jerky. Go to alberto.com to learn more. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, Richard Sherman, Seahawks cornerback.